Good morning. Pretty action-packed weekend with ICMR first batting for an August 15 deadline to release, along with Bharat Biotech, India's first indigenous COVID-19 vaccination. And then when the furore occurred on how ICMR was compressing its deadlines, ICMR issued a letter saying that it just wanted to ensure that there were no delays. It had no intention whatsoever of discarding the thoroughness that is required for vaccines such as this. Vaccines, as we know, typically take anywhere between 5 to 10 years to develop, but given that this is a pandemic and the world over, there's a rapid compression of deadlines. Even then, people are talking about a 6 to 8 month, perhaps even a year's time frame to make these vaccinations available. ICMR talking about doing this in 6 to 8 weeks was really quite shocking. Indeed, in its letter to the hospitals, where it asked them to get volunteers ready quickly enough, that sounded positively frightening. It does seem, unfortunately, that the rush timelines were dictated by the need to have some kind of announcement to make on August 15. Today's top story in Financial Express is on the decline in India Inc.'s fortune for several years now. This is long before the pandemic started. The operating profit margin has been declining, has been falling, has been slowing down for the last 3 years and is actually in the negative right now. With the last 5 years data for corporate India telling their own story, particularly in terms of the rising leverage and the problem that is causing, our lead column, not surprisingly, recommends that India Inc. actually just forget about market prices of their stock right now, but they raise as much capital as possible, since that is clearly the only way to survive here. Obviously, the big name that comes to mind in this context is Reliance, which over the past 2 months has managed to raise about 1.2 or 1.25 lakh crores in its Jio platform. The other company which has raised a lot of money but with a lot less fanfare is Bharti Airtel. On June 3, when ICMR scientist Nivedita Gupta made a statement at a press conference in reply to a question, she said that India's peak rate was very far away. At that time, it took most people by surprise. But, and here's the bad news, at that time India's positivity rate, the positivity rate is the number of people who are shown as positive as a proportion of the number of new tests. So new infections upon new tests is the positivity rate. At the time when Nivedita Gupta made this statement, India's positivity rate was 6.5%. It was 3.8% a month before that, which is why she made her statement that the positivity rate was rising. But it is 9.1% today, and a large part of this is due to the increase in positivity in new areas. It's not so much in Delhi and Mumbai. Delhi and Mumbai are high, but the increase in positivity now is taking place in different areas. There are other worrying corona stories as well in our newspaper today. It's about how Delhi continues to fudge the data on corona. Now, Delhi, as you know, has been in the past at the center of several controversies about testing, about death rates and things like that. Today's story in Financial Express is really about the recovery rates. This is a number that Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal frequently boasts about. He's very proud of it and says the fact that recovery rates in Delhi are going up is a good sign. Now, as we show in the newspaper in our story today, this is largely fictional. Now, we do it in a very simple manner. So let's say on a particular day, on day X, there are 100 active cases in Delhi. Now, obviously, all recoveries that take place, whether they take place in the next 10 days or 15 days or 20 days, all recoveries have to take place from these 100 people. That's correct? Well, as we found, the Delhi government showed that if day X had 100 active cases, in the next 10 days, the number of recoveries was more than 100. Essentially, what this means is that the infection that took place in the days after X, let's say X plus 1 or X plus 2 or X plus 3, a lot of those infections were also shown to have recovered within 10 days. Now, that is clearly incorrect. That's not possible. But the worst part of this is that the Delhi government has decided some time back that people would not be tested again after they had gone through their treatment. So which means that it is very possible that people are being shown to have been recovered and they're going back and they're infecting more people because they haven't actually recovered. Another equally amazing story is that while the Delhi government tries to boost its testing numbers and it shows higher tests per million people, as a result of this, in the last couple of weeks perhaps, Delhi's population has been reduced by 1 million people. Read the story, it's quite hilarious and sad, of course. We didn't have a video over the weekend, so I'd like to draw your attention to Saturday morning's column, the lead column. Essentially, it makes the point that while people talk about how the government of India doesn't have more money and so it cannot embark on any ambitious pump priming or other big schemes like that, essentially the point the column makes is that this is completely untrue. The government of India has no shortage of funds. Just to mention a few numbers, the PSU stocks that the government of India owns, including LIC, those themselves are worth about 21 lakh crores. If you look at the excess food grain that the Food Corporation of India has, that is worth about 1.5 lakh crores. And then there is the government's ability through legislative action to just create money out of thin air virtually. So they built the Delhi airport by giving the GMR group real estate around the airport, and they said that they could use this for commercial purposes. So that is really what funded the Delhi airport. The government of India over the last few decades got lakhs of crores of rupees by auctioning spectrum. So essentially, if the government wants, it can create as much money as it wants, it can create as much value as it wants. So really the problem now is not the shortage of money with the government, it is the shortage of intent or the ability to translate its desires into intent. That is the real problem. Have a great week. Thank you.